Hello, everyone. Salim Omar here from the eCommerce Money Map podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Shaw. Shaw, welcome.
Hey, Salim.
Awesome. We have a special guest today. His name is Darian. He has a very contagious energy level that I think is going to rub off on all of us. Very brief bio, and then I'm going to ask Kosmo to share his backstory. Kosmo started his business, Cosmos Q, back in 2009 from the linen closet of his business with $500 from his last good credit card and a mountain of reasons why this probably wasn't going to work. But what he did at the time was a thing or two about, he knew a thing or two about overcoming adversity. And now with over 170,000 customers worldwide and over 19 million plus views on YouTube, he continues to thrive in his business. Kosmo, welcome, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. That was a very nice intro. I've never heard somebody speak that nice about me. So.
I like the sense of humor. All right, cool. We're looking forward. Give us kind of a minute or less your backstory, because I know you've gone through some real big challenges. Yeah, you've built a really successful business. So give us a quick backstory there.
So the quick version of it, when I was 17 months old, I was burned in the bathtub. I spent the majority of my childhood in and out of the Shriners Burn Institute in Galveston, Texas, which made it tough in school. I think coupled with the fact that I wasn't in school that much, with who I am as a person and deep down, made school tough. Ended up dropping out. I think in my 11th or 12th grade year, I can't remember. Ended up taking factory job after factory job, and then one day we sat down at the house, and I was like, "Hey, man, we had a small family, so I was like, well, I'm a dad now, so now I got to start doing dad stuff. So while I'm mowing the yard, I should have some meat smoking. So I went and bought a smoker at Walmart for $50. Turned out to be the absolute worst meal I think I've ever cooked in my life. And my wife held the dumpster open as I dumped the food in there. And I just remember having this feeling of, this is rock bottom. Like I couldn't even provide a simple meal for my family. And that, at the trash can that day, that's what fueled everything in me. And I swore that would never happen again. And that's what started the company.
So you've been at it for, I don't know, 2009. What's that, 14, 15 years?
Yeah, that's since we incorporated the business. I think the day we threw everything in the trash was in 2003, 2004.
5 years later, you started your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your business. What do you provide? What products do you do? And who are your customers?
Okay. We sell life-changing barbecue rubs, sauces, injections, marinades, and wing dust to barbecue enthusiasts all over the world. When I was barbecuing years ago, I just remember going to the store and buying stuff, and I was like, it doesn't do, like, it's just bland and just so plain, and I want this. And I started making the stuff and started competing on the professional barbecue circuit. That's who our first customers were. I started winning on the professional barbecue circuit, and that's who we started selling to.
And you didn't have any training in how to do this stuff, creating the recipe and so forth. This was just like all what? Experimentation?
I think I'm getting better at explaining it. I can see in my head the way things should taste. So when I look at something, like we made a sauce, cherry apple habanero. It was a glaze. And I just remember it, like I knew what it tasted like, and we had never even tested a batch of it yet. So 18 test batches later, we finally got to the vision that I had in my head of what cherry apple habanero rib glaze should taste like. And it was almost it was right at a year and a half it took to do all this, because then we'd have to, you know, go find the ingredients and, you know, ship them in and redo the batch. So
Yeah.
I see it in my brain first.
So you can visualize the end result, the taste.
Yeah, which if we go back to business, the best way to not even business, the best way to succeed at any goal you have is understand where the finish line is.
And when you say understand the finish line, what are some of the things that come in your mind? What are you thinking about when you're thinking about what elements within the finish line are you thinking about?
I think in my mind, when I envision a sauce or a rub or whatever it is, I can taste it in my brain. With our cherry apple habanero barbecue glaze, I was very adamant that you need to taste cherries and you need to taste apples. And I don't know if you've ever tried to blend two fruits together. It's really difficult because one seems to overtake the other, and then you try to, you know, you try to fix that, and then it overtakes the other one, and then it's just this constant battle. And then when you add a habanero into it, most people think that's too hot. So I was like, I want the greatness of the habanero without all the heat, because if you've ever tasted peppers without the heat, they're phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. So we had three components here: apple, cherry, and habanero. And how do we put that together that it just makes it work?
Yeah. And so you were successful in creating a product that was liked, that you liked, and then you started competing. How did you let the world know about it?
That's a great question. I remember I would go out and compete every weekend, and I was serving my tribe, who was the barbecue cooks at the competition. And I just remember sitting there one week, and this was years ago, and I thought, man, I spent $1,000 to come to this town and show off in front of these people, and that's unscalable. I can't be everywhere at every cook-off at every time. And I thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if I started running Facebook ads. And this was very early in the Facebook ad game. And I told myself, I said, I don't want to talk to the customers I currently have. I wanted to talk to the customers I could have. And I thought, if I take that $1,000 and take that time that I invested into that cook-off that weekend and put it into educating myself on how to run Facebook ads, what could happen? And it worked. I can say that. Things started scaling up, and it was really neat to see.
So you saw early success with Facebook ads, and that means you're selling online e-commerce early in the business?
Early in the business. We started online before, I don't even think YouTube was out yet. It was nuts. And even to go back further, I don't think e-commerce was a thing. There wasn't, if the only e-commerce I knew of was Amazon and eBay. So buying something online just wasn't a thing. And I thought, man, what if we start selling this online? And I would have people send me checks or send me money or whatever. And then I ran into this little thing called PayPal. And once again, I thought, man, like, these guys they're doing transactions. I'm going to see if I can take the HTML code off of one of their buttons and put it on my store. And sure enough, I could, and it worked. And when they clicked that button, they checked out. So I built a website, and I have zero website experience. None whatsoever. I have no code. You should not put me in front of a computer to do anything for a website ever. But I was like, I was sitting there and I was like, I couldn't, I couldn't not do it. And so I built our first e-commerce site. I was also the graphics art guy and customer service and everybody.
Yeah. So you're driving the traffic to your website. Is it where most of your sales are coming from? Is website business through your website, or is it through third-party sellers?
Well, I'm a firm believer in never put your eggs in one basket. So we try to diversify as much as we can. We sell online. We sell on Amazon, and we also have retail customers, retail partners around the world. Really, I think we have about 7,000 retail partners that sell our products around the world. We export to Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, and obviously we still sell here in the United States.
That's really awesome. Good stuff, man. What a great success story that started from, I don't know, an idea or a pain or a lack of, right? It's like, what you were looking for and there wasn't that. So that dissatisfaction led to you creating something pretty amazing here. So you've been in business for a while. What's the journey been like? And perhaps you can share like some of your biggest lessons in business.
Oh man, I've learned so many. My dad always taught me, or he always told me when I was young. He said, "You don't want to listen. Life will teach you everything you need to know." And I'm the guy that learns the hard way, and that's okay. That does not bother me, because in that sometimes I find a better way. And finances for me was a huge. I had to learn the hard way. I didn't go broke. I'm very money minded, not money driven, money minded. And when I started realizing that I'm paying everybody before I pay myself, that didn't make sense to me. Why would I pay everybody else before I pay myself? Because if everybody else leaves the company, I still have a company. If I leave the company, everybody else has nothing. So when I made that switch and started paying myself, and started looking at profit first.
That's a popular concept. And Michael.
Yeah. And subsequently before. I read his book after this, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's two of us out here at least, and then I find out there's probably millions. It's just, sometimes you gotta learn the hard way.
Yeah. So lessons learned the hard way from your own experiences. And sometimes, those are the best lessons. I mean, you learn as much from successes and perhaps more from mistakes or failures, right?
Yep, absolutely.
As long as we learn from them and we don't repeat them, that can be challenging.
I agree.
Good show. Perhaps you've got a question or two. I want to make sure I don't take over.
No, it's been a really great back and forth between you two. I would be really interested to hear like some more of like the successes you had in e-commerce. It seems like now, like you said, you don't want to keep all your eggs in one basket, and you really spread out. In physical retail stores, you've got your products in. But like, where else did you see success? Like maybe middle of the road that brought you here?
Well, that's a great question. I look at it kind of like a 3-tier system. And I don't know if you've ever been rafting. For some reason, I use rafting as an analogy quite a bit, but it makes perfect sense to me. The easiest thing to do in a raft is just get in it and let the current take you. And those are what I call our downstream customers. Those are the B2C. Those are me going to the competition and using the thing and then handing out samples. Those are the one-offs. It takes a little bit more effort to, go upstream and maybe hit a little river off to the side. So I call that my side stream. To me, that means it takes a little bit more effort, but it's a little easier to do. So these are the mom and pop stores, the hardware stores, that you can just call, and they'll pick up the phone, and they want good products in their store, and they want good people in their store, and we go cook for them, hand out samples, we'd do whatever. And then the upstream, the hard one to do, the really hard one, and those are your big box locations. Now, admittedly, I have not been a fan of those. for a long time because I just heard horror stories about the way they treat people. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be treated like that, you know? So, but we did get into Walmart. We got into Walmart nationwide with just 3 products. But it's amazing how much 3 products can generate when they're nationwide. So that's the way I look at it. I look at the downstream, side stream, and the upstream. And the upstream is definitely the hardest to do, but if you really want to scale the way you want to scale, at least in our playbook, that had to take, you know, that had to be written into the script somewhere. I know a lot of guys that own e-commerce stores that do 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 million a year. And that's awesome. We haven't cracked that one yet. We're trying to crack the 20 million, which is still, that's, you know, I mean, that's no small feat. I think 10 to 20 million is one of the hardest things I've ever done. I think it's harder than going from 0 to 10 million. So that's kind of the way I look at it, the e-commerce side of it. You know your customer, know everything about them, but the main thing is listen to your customer and ask them questions and provide value to them that they're actually looking for.
Some good sound advice there. What led you to YouTube? You've got a huge following in YouTube. What do you do in YouTube? How often? And what was the reason for you to say, hey, I want to be present in this platform?
So one of the questions we got asked when we started to go and doing our side stream, we had somebody else taking the product and selling it, and which created a disconnect between myself and the end user. And they would ask a lot of questions and send a lot of emails. And I thought, oh my gosh, education. We have to educate these people. Like, and YouTube was out, and I was like, I should start doing cooking videos. And if you've ever, oh my gosh, our first YouTube videos were horrible. but I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. I need to understand where the value is in this. And the value is in the information I am transferring to the end user. So that's what we're going to do. And I think when we first started, we was doing once a week. Then we jumped up to twice a week. Then I took a break there for a while, because after I did that for 4 or 5 years, and I was feeling it. The company was growing. I was still the CEO and still shooting all the videos. And so I took a break, and then we started back up. And right now we're doing every 2 weeks.
Got it. And you have a production team, a house that shoots your videos, or
yeah, we do now. we do now. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I've held that camera out here many times, and honestly, I still look at it the same way. It's the transfer of the knowledge that is the key. The vehicle doesn't matter. Yeah.
I mean, you shared that knowledge or that message in a very entertaining way, right? And that keeps your customers it's part of, I mean, it's information and entertainment, right? It's infotainment.
Infotainment. Really You're exactly right. Right. If you've ever watched any of my old videos, it was not entertainment at all.
Yeah. I've made that mistake many times when you're trying to teach and share, and you lose that side of it, and then your audience is like, man, this is boring. So you gotta bring that element in.
No, so you're absolutely right.
Change subjects a little bit, Kosmo. I want to ask you a question on mindset. What is the mindset of a successful entrepreneur? How do you think? How do you react to things, good things, bad things? How do you view the world? What give us some of the, what's your success routine, perhaps?
That's a great question. The mindset for me is, you will never be better than you are right now if you don't change your standards, period. If your standards remain the same, you will stay exactly the same. And for me, the way I'm built is, if I'm stagnant or regressing, that's very painful to me. I have to be moving forward every single day. But I also know this about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have that drive to move forward, but a lot of them don't have the healthy drive. They may have an unhealthy drive to move forward, doing unhealthy things, and that's where I found myself a couple of years ago. I went to a new doctor. He said, "Hey, man, you got a clogged artery. You need to start losing weight." And so I started changing. Like, my mindset is like, okay, listen, man, I can check out in 5-10 years, or I'm lucky enough to be here. I've never met my real father. I have one person on this earth that I'm related to 100%. One person. That's it. And I was like, man, I don't give a crap how I got here. I'm here. I made it to the show. I am going to make the most of everything that has been given to me, presented in front of me, and I will do anything I have to do to take care of myself, take care of my business, take care of my team, take care of my family, and help spread this knowledge that I do have. That's it. Mindset to me is everything. If you,
what are some of the things that you do to keep your mindset performing at that level that you just shared?
Gratitude. Number one, gratitude for me. I did not get here by myself. Some say luck, some say drive. I think it's a culmination of, myself, my drive, the people around me, but I am always trying to be thankful for what I have and who I have. And I try to, even so much, so I'll text one person that I haven't talked to, and I just give thanks for them, and it's gratitude for me. I'm very thankful to be in the position I am, because I wasn't here always, and I dang sure don't want to go back to where I was.
Very nice. This is so good, man. So many gems that you've shared in the short time we have. Shaw, any questions that you have before I've got a couple more and then we'll finish off.
No, I'm really enjoying the back and forth between you two. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Good stuff. I guess the question I'd ask is final words of wisdom, Kosmo.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I told you in the beginning, my dad always told me, if you don't want to listen to me, life will teach you everything you need to know. And the other night, I think about that all the time. If you don't want to listen, life will teach you everything you need to know. And what he was saying to me is, I can show you a better way if you want to listen. But my drive and my stubbornness said, no, I would rather learn the hard way than learn it the easy way and listen to you. But I was thinking about it the other night, and I was like, that it just doesn't seem complete. And I think the biggest thing that drives me is fear of regret when you lay down and take your final breath. And I think that is what flashes before your eyes. So I loosely wrote down, if you don't want to listen to me, life will teach you everything you need to know. But be careful when you die of the things you wish you would have known. And I think that in the beginning and the end, when you bookmark your life that way, I heard a guy say, if you want to find drive, visit a terminally ill home, and you speak to those people that got weeks, days, minutes left to live. If you want to find your drive, find out what the end of the road looks like, and then you're lucky enough to get to go back and fix it.
Yeah, so good. Perspective, right? It's perspective. It's so easy to lose perspective, and it's so important to have it. And because otherwise it's a life that's unfulfilled. It's a life of chasing. It's a life of running. It's a life of moving, just chasing stuff. And it's not a life of fulfillment or meaningfulness and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think as an entrepreneur, that's needed. I mean, when we are interacting with clients, customers, and we're interacting with our team members, we got to inspire them, and it's got to be purposeful. And I think we just show up in a better way when we have that perspective of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is so good. Kosmo, how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to do that? If you're available, or if you have any, access information or whatever.
Well, if you like to barbecue and grill, then we have a YouTube channel, Cosmos Cube. You can go over there, check out what we're doing. If you want to listen to more of me on our podcast, we have a podcast called Kosmo Unfiltered, which we drop weekly episodes. You can go over to cosmounfiltered.com, or you can hit us up on social media at Kosmo Unfiltered, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the things. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Wonderful. This is so good. Thank you so much, Kosmo. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you shared with us, your time, your knowledge. You have a good one. You take care.
Thank you.